Radical Entertainment's Hulk Ultimate Destruction was arguably the best superhero game in recent memory. Radical has taken the same formula from that excellent action game and applied it to their own IP, Prototype. It's action-packed, frantic, and extraordinarily violent, and it might just be the best action game so far this year. You play as Alex Mercer, an amnesiac with astonishing powers who doesn't know how he got them. As you progress through the game, you'll learn more about who you are, why you have these insanely powerful abilities, and why the city has been taken over by a mutating virus that turns everyone into zombies. That is, you'll learn this if you choose to, which you probably won't. Despite tons of cutscenes, in-game voiceovers, and a slew of unlockable memories, the story somehow manages to be incomprehensible, tedious, and completely ignorable. The main character is no better. He's surly, bland, and somewhat unlikable, and doesn't keep you interested in his quest at all. Fortunately, what Alex lacks in personality, he makes up for in godlike power. There are few characters in gaming history that can match up to Alex Mercer in terms of destructive ability. With a massive range of offensive, defensive, movement, and sensory abilities, Mercer's able to move throughout the city extremely quickly, fight off hordes of enemies with his strength, speed, and various weaponized arms, and even absorb the bodies, memories, and skills of pretty much anyone in the city. To balance out Alex's astonishing power levels, the game's learning curve is quite steep, especially near the end of the game when dozens of enemies fill the screen, each launching their own devastating attacks. It makes the game difficult to finish, but also provides a fun challenge to those with the patience to stick it out. Side quests like races, killing sprees, and skydiving exercises are scattered throughout the city as well, and these are just as challenging as the main quest and should keep perfectionists coming back over and over to beat their own best scores. Prototype might just be the most violent game I've ever played. It's nearly impossible to avoid killing civilians with almost every swipe of your weapon arm, and the city contains more civilians than pretty much any open-world game before it. I'd be surprised if anyone can beat this game without killing at least 1,000 innocent people. Not to mention the 10,000 or so less than innocent victims you'll find. While in motion, Prototype looks very nice, which is really what matters. The city looks great, and the main character's animations are fluid and natural. In the rare occasions where things actually slow down for a second, though, you get a better look at Alex and see that the game's textures really don't stand up to close scrutiny. It's mostly a problem during the in-engine cutscenes, and while I understand the trade-off between texture quality and on-screen characters, I wish characters were a bit less muddy looking. There's also plenty of pop-in to contend with, but despite all the insanity that's usually appearing on screen, the game's frame rate stays respectable throughout. Considering how many fire effects, dismemberments, power effects, and physics computations are going on at any given time, this is a pretty impressive feat of coding. While it's not a perfect game by any means, Prototype is the, well, prototypical action game. It's all about reflexes, concentration, constant motion, and nimble fingers. And while it can get frustratingly difficult, it never gets boring. It also looks great, plays very well, and gives you the feeling of being an unstoppable killing machine. It sure as hell ain't for kids, but despite its total amorality, it is one of the year's best action titles. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check Gamervision.com for the full text review.